What a wonderful sight, the Carclew ballroom, full of people who are passionate about youth arts, not just in this state but in this country. And on behalf of Carclew and the staff, and not only is the ballroom full, but I see faces peering in from the foyer. So this is truly exciting for Carclew, and on behalf of our board, I'd like to generously extend a very friendly Carclew welcome to you all, and thank you all for joining us. I've been chair of Carclew for the last 6 years, and one of the things that our board is passionate about is providing leadership in the sector, and that's how we see today's role. Now, because I know we have so many interstate people here, and also because one of the things I find as I do other things around our great state and even the nation is that a lot of people know Carclew because of our beautiful Carclew house. A lot of people know the name Carclew, and a lot of South Australians have spent childhood hours trawling through the gardens and having arts experiences here at the house. But not everyone understands what drives Carclew. So I thought I'd just give you a tiny little history lesson about what it is that started Carclew, and it's what continues Carclew today, and that is our passion, our belief and our determination that no child should go through their early lives and into their teenage and early adulthood without exposure to high quality arts experiences. That's what drove the two women who started Carclew and got the Prime Minister of the day to get this house for youth arts. That's what drove them, and 40 odd years later, that's what drives us still. We believe that all young people, regardless of where they live or what their background, should have access to creative opportunities from birth, and we remain committed to providing them. And I know in this room that that commitment is strong wherever you come from and whatever particular area you choose to take it. I've been very remiss in not acknowledging some very important guests who you're going to hear from shortly. The first of those is the Minister assisting, no, I've got it wrong, the Assistant Minister to the Premier, who happens to be the Minister for Arts in South Australia. We're very happy to have Annabelle Dargants here with us today representing the Premier. We're also delighted to have Helen Connolly, the Commissioner for Children and Young People, with us today, and you'll be hearing from Helen later as well. And we have so many other distinguished people in the room, including former Chair of Carclew, Kate Gould, who you'll be hearing from later too. I just needed to acknowledge these very important people. At Carclew, as I say, we see the importance of leadership in the sector. We know it's been a tough time. We won't talk about George and funding and how painful that has been, but out of that pain and out of the creativity that is the youth arts sector will come great things, we believe, and that's why it was important, we felt, to hold a National Youth Summit at this time and here in Adelaide. We're delighted so many of you have travelled from interstate. I know some of you have been here for the Youth Theatre Forum, and I saw, was that what it was called? Australian Theatre Forum, and I saw on some social media format the most enormous paella bowls. Why wasn't I there? It looked amazing. Was it as good as it looked? It looked sensational. So thanks for coming. That's a great, I think, a great centering of creativity, and I'm sure those of you who've come from interstate will not only be well fed by the fabulous paella, but you'll also go away chock full of inspiration and creative ideas, and we hope some challenging ideas from this summit today as well. We see youth arts and children's theatre as the bedrock of our creative industries and our civic society. Without them, the world would be an even more awful place than it sometimes appears to be, and recent events of this week bring that home to me, I think, particularly. We need something other in our lives than what's going on in other places. We're delighted you're here to be part of that conversation, and we will, as Carclew, we commit to trying to continue this national conversation with all of you and those who couldn't be here today. As Trish has mentioned, the streaming and other ways in which people can participate if they can't be here in person. So thank you, welcome. We hope you have a great day. I'd like to apologise for the coffee machine as well. I'm going to blame North Terrace. I think it's because, I'm sorry Annabelle, but I think it's the tram works. I think everything in South Australia is being blamed on the tramworks at the moment, but I think that's why the coffee van couldn't get here. It just couldn't get north of North Terrace, but it will be here later. My next privilege is to introduce to you a man who has been a cultural leader both within and beyond his own community for more than 40 years, in fact all his life. And he joins us today to offer welcome to country, and he is a true leader, a remarkable man who has lived a remarkable life and continues to give generously, willingly and with love wherever you see him speak. He was named Aboriginal Elder of the Year before many of you were born in 1977. He was awarded Local Hero Australia Day Awards in 2003, Fellow of the University of South Australia in 2004, Citizen of Humanity, awarded by the National Committee of Human Rights in 2009, and an Order of Australia Medal in 2014. As I say, he's widely recognised as a leader of reconciliation, and he is acknowledged as one of the custodians of Kaurna culture. We are very proud to introduce you to Uncle Yerloburka. Did I get that right, Uncle Lewis? Yerloburka Lewis O'Brien. Please welcome him to the microphone. It's a big step.
It is. Maruichanga, Kaurna Miana Nai Wangani, Mani the Bundigani Atana. Nai Biriko, Mankalankala, Tandanya, Mianaku. Nature Yongandalia, Nature Yakanadalia, Padne Adlu Wadu. On behalf of the Kaurna people, I welcome you all to Kaurna country, and I do this ambassador of the Adelaide Plains people. My brothers, my sisters, let's walk together in harmony. I should give you a little bit of past history of the Kaurna people, which the British destroyed when they came here. We ran conferences in this country for thousands of years, and the German missionaries wrote the word down, Bamba Bambalya, and why did they come to us? They came to us for education, and we taught them all the concepts. And I'll give you a couple. We had Yerikatata, which is at random, Yerabululuka, which is at 4 times. And then we have a nice jazzy word called Yara, which says to be an individual you have to have reciprocity twice, both one to another difference. It's a hell of a mouthful, but what it means, you've got to learn to think twice. And so how do we learn to think twice? And we have to learn that ourselves. We don't get taught because we do a different teaching method. We teach people to learn for themselves. We give them the concepts and they have to work and teach themselves. And so we start off with a word like muka. Muka is oval. And the word for the brain is muka muka. And it tells you that the brain is made up of 2 ovals. And so our people thought this: if the brain thinks twice, we have to too. And so then you transfer the thought into action. So what do? You create women's business, men's business. You have 2 moieties, Mathri and Karuru. Mathri must marry a Karuru. And why do we distantly marry? Do we do it just for the heck of it, or do we do it for certain reasons? And the reason is this, and you can work it out backwards. If you want an educated society, which we developed, you have to have educatable people. And how do you make them educatable? You make them distantly married because they come with few disabilities, so they're educatable. And so they thought of the whole ball game. And that's why people came to us. They said, these people are on about a proper way of development of human nature and for community. And it worked, because all the people in this country was highly educated to a fairly high degree. And why did we have a highly educated society? And people don't get it. The reason you have a highly educated society, because you've got to live a simple spiritual life with nothing. I went to church and they say, live on today and not tomorrow, no heavenly worldly possessions. Hear me what I'm telling you. But what do? We don't talk about it, we do it. So you look at Aboriginal, he has few instruments in his hand, he walks the country, he doesn't build much, he lives on today and not tomorrow. And to do that you have to be philosophical and well educated to do it. Why would you do it if you knew nothing? Because you wouldn't be able to do it. You have to know all your environment, you know how to catch fish, you have to know how to catch animals, you have to know how to make nets, you have to do a whole lot of things in your life to be able to develop the skills, to be able to manage your own affairs and to teach your own children. So you can see it's a highly developed thing. And then when we ran these conferences, an interesting outcome, because there's the doublies coming in again. When you do this, you get that. And what's the that? You find that when all the people came to us for education, we found that every language group in this country that came to us had skills and knowledge that we didn't possess, and we learned from them. And I'll give you an example. The Burong people, which is now Victoria, they pride themselves in knowing more about the stars than anyone else in the country. We learnt from them because we weren't stargazers. Now you can go to Mawson Lake and see Kaurna by the stars, because we learn to name every star in the heavens and tell stories about the stars. And so the Pitjantjatjara people are singers. They sing more notes than anyone else in the world. And I went to a music college and I said, why do they sing more notes? He said they have no finger instruments. Fingers limit the notes you'll play and therefore the notes you'll sing. And I thought, wow. So you see, we learned from each other. So there you've got 250 nations, that ups your ante 250 times. So you see, it was a highly knowledgeable country, and that was destroyed, and look at the mess we're in today for that destruction. And that's what we're trying to get back again, and what we've got to try and do is teach all our people our language again, and then we'll upgrade again to where we should be. And thank you. But now it's my pleasure to introduce Kira Bain, and she'll give you an acknowledgement.